Hello everyone, my name is Sujata Saunik. I'm joining remotely from Boston, USA. I'm unable to join in person. I thank the chair and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my own work in India, in Maharashtra, specifically around developing the heat action plan. I would like to begin by saying that the human mind is not a desktop computer. It stores very little information, and usually it is something that is flexible, can find solutions, but you have to extract the best possible solution from things around you and people around you. Today, it's I think very important to acknowledge that climate change is one of the biggest issues on the table, and we need to collaboratively find quick solutions to how to deal with the worst of the impacts. It's also very important to acknowledge that we also have access to a whole lot of information than we ever did before. And we are able to find people who can work with us to share their knowledge and skills and help in finding those solutions. I'm sure you would have all heard Donald Rumsfeld phrase when he had said that there are the known knowns and there are the unknown unknowns, and there are things that we know that we don't know. So using that as a sort of a phrase here to talk about a little bit about the known knowns. So it's easier to handle those because you know what they are and how to deal with it. It's the unknown unknowns that always pose a problem. So health managers, practitioners, medical professionals who are on the ground trying to deal with the impacts as they see them, sometimes they don't know because they don't know. So they don't know where to start, how to go about it, what is it that needs to be done. The other very important aspect of today's working environment is that there are so many things that we do together as a team. Just like flying a plane, it's not just one person, the pilot, who's flying it. There are so many people, including the machine, which is sort of a collaborative process of getting from A to B. Similarly, when you are faced with situations where you cannot understand what you don't know, you need to reach out to people who know, and then that acts as a catalyst to bring about the change. Often these changes start, I feel, from the state level, not necessarily from the federal level, because in many countries, including in India, there's a lot of autonomy given, especially in social sectors like health and education, to the state governments to figure out, what is their biggest priority and how they are going to deal with it. So in Maharashtra, when we started out, it was the NRDC that came on board. They had already done this exercise in Gujarat with the city administration of Ahmedabad. When they reached out to me, at that time I was the public health secretary, I pointed out that Nagpur and the region faces huge temperature variations during summer, and they already came with the experience of having done this action plan in Gujarat, and we sort of just adapted and modified it to our scenario. And the enthusiasm with which the people participated, including the neighboring districts around Nagpur, was something which was very heartwarming. Once they came to understand what they should be doing, NRDC's push, the Natural Resource Defense Council's push to bring people on the table and start talking was very, very helpful. I would also like to mention here that it's not easy always to maintain your momentum. Once that outside support tends to sort of step back a little bit, the process slows down because everyone goes back to doing what they know best. And so it's important that continuous support and continuous sort of monitoring lends its weight to the actions that need to be taken. So what in a nutshell, if I was to put it, what are the key ingredients of success? The first is that simplify the complex, break it down into actionable actions that can sort of start off immediately and have a short-term, medium-term and a long-term action plan. Work in a team, seek out those who know the issue better and work collaboratively. Hold hands as you go along. Get the experts to act as catalysts to bring their technical knowledge and previous experience to bear on the scenario you are facing, but be flexible and be able to sort of adapt adapt the tools to your requirements. The other thing is be very clear and specific, because unless you are clear about the goals and the timelines, it may be difficult to sort of motivate a big team to continue to work with you. There is a lot of professional risk involved for people who are in the technical agencies who come forward to collaborate with you, because they all report linearly to their own hierarchies, and it's sometimes difficult to find that institutional space and also the funding required for taking such things forward. You have to be very ingenious to find ways and means to keep the ball rolling. And then someone has to see the benefit, so it's important that you engage with the leadership right from the beginning and bring them on board as to what you're doing, because the political leadership also is interested in finding answers, because it's usually the media that highlights these issues in the public domain, and therefore the political leadership is always keen to find solutions. So keep the larger picture in mind. Keep everyone together and talking. Try and sort of assure the technical